Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday to you. Welcome to Purpose Fridays with Sherry Watson, family, and friends. Derek Watson here with you, co-founder of the Power of Purpose. And joining us right now, also live from Denver, Colorado, the one and only Sherry Watson. Mom, hi, how are you?
Hey, fantastic. So much to share.
All looks great. So the Mile High City and a lot happening this week.
Phew.
You just mentioned a little early on before, we talked about meetings with the fund that's now working in conjunction with our real estate donation program. An incredible event with one of our mastermind students and their nonprofit. So much to talk about today.
And I see a lot of new people on, you guys. So welcome to the Power of Purpose. It's our happy hour with the purpose. So we have lots of fun. I mean, if it's not fun, we're not doing it, right? Everyone knows. So if you don't know me, you know that's the whole goal. You gotta have fun doing it. And Frederick, I see you new to us, so thank you. We want to welcome you in. You guys, the Power of Purpose, so many of you are new. Our mission is to launch and empower at least 10,000 nonprofits for the better good and more connectedness of this world. In the last few months, it's been the most momentum I've experienced. And I got to share with you guys my story getting into the nonprofit was learning the hard way. I sustained a head injury, laid in a coma, learned how to walk and talk and eat. What a gift I was given to learn the power of purpose. When I laid there in a coma and said, why me, why me, why me, poor me, right? Sniveling and whining. My pastor sat beside me every day and finally said, girl, I know you know I'm here. And instead of ask why, it's time to ask what. What's my purpose? So welcome, you guys. All of you are on the journey. When you live a purpose-led, and I used to say purpose-driven life, but it's purpose-led. The doors are opening for the power of purpose. When Derek talks about the fund, we'll go into more detail because it's for you guys. Everything we do at the power of purpose is because and for you guys. No, we are going to be able to transform this country and this world, bringing new solutions in with all of you guys. So building movements, bringing our voices together. And I always am energetic and on fire, Derek, but even more on fire this week, you guys, they're on the 27th. So what's that? 26th. So 2 days ago, July 26th, 27 years ago, the President of the United States signed the Americans with Disabilities Act into law. And we sat on the White House lawn. People with disabilities, people in wheelchairs that had to be lifted onto the curbs, and nothing was accessible. We couldn't get into the Capitol. We couldn't go into any of the buildings. They'd have to come and meet us out in the streets. Now look at the way we changed the world, literally. And so sitting there the last 2 days, Derek, and listening to one of our mentoring students that I'm going to share with you in a bit, talk about starting a movement. And that's what we're doing with the Power of Purpose. So you guys today share with us on the Q&A and on the chat, and what's your passion? What's your purpose? So many of us have been through journeys that either we can sit and whine and snivel and look at what's wrong, or we can take that and turn it into purpose and make the impact and bring this country back. So Derek, I am so excited to share with you about what's been going on in Denver. I know you've got a lot to share. So
Absolutely. We have, our team's kind of all over the country right now, as well as our mastermind students doing amazing things. Just in particular, what we do here at the Power of Purpose is an incredible niche known as charitable giving of real estate. We call it the Power of Free Real Estate, our real estate donation program that we incorporate strictly with our mastermind students. We have them plugged in with a very sophisticated software program, mail marketing campaigns everywhere, leads coming in. We have waiting back under contract this week, 10 properties right now from one donor. We have scores of leads from another. We have a tremendous nonprofit in Iowa who's now got about a real estate portfolio about $3 million in the last year. Truly amazing. So with that, many of you have been following us along know we've been developing a fund, an investment fund, to work in conjunction with our real estate donation program with our nonprofits. Really on the acquisition side of this real estate, we can buy them up, sell them quickly, generate cash for the nonprofits. And we have just amazing, amazing individuals now coming on from the fund. Our fund manager is a former fund manager themselves, has a PhD in economics, had a radio show for a while, has vast expertise in real estate investment. We have an attorney with 2 law degrees. We have our mentor, my personal mentor, Chase Magnuson, who's the foremost expert in this area coming in. We have a gentleman formerly who is a president of Regional Bank, Bank of America, who's very prominent in the financial world, now looking more along the lines of nonprofit and telemedicine. But we're going to talk about that. That's a good segue for you. That we've been meeting with, that came to our mastermind, and we're getting incorporated with both the fund, our nonprofits, and their real estate, especially as it pertains to veterans and telemedicine programs and funding. And we just had a meeting with him this week about coming in to be an acting partner with us on this fund and in other different ways with our nonprofits, with raising capital, with real estate, with helping us sell real estate when we get it. Just a tremendous, and Sherry here had the opportunity to meet with him just this week to bring him on board. Had a great call with him this morning as well. So I'd like to talk a little more about how that meeting went and what was discussed and all the new exciting opportunity associated with it.
You guys, this is so fun to be at happy hour together with the purpose. To really, a lot of you are new. I mean, a lot. It's so awesome. The charitable giving of real estate is a phenomenal way to fund nonprofits, to transform our communities, to make impact, and to bring this country and world back. So using real estate to fund nonprofits has not been in people's mindset. And Derek always shares with us that 50% of this country's wealth is held in real estate. And yet less than 2% last year, $500 billion donated to nonprofits went through real estate. So having our mentor been the lead in the world, he wrote the book on it. We now have access to the book. So as Derek and his team have designed the proprietary software that now goes to donors. So first thing you need to do, get your nonprofit set up. All that noise out there about, oh, they're so hard, it takes so long. I just signed one up yesterday with one of our students. It's going to be official in 2 days. I see the Betty's with us, one of our mastermind students. She can file online, and within 2 days, $30, be a nonprofit corporation. Another one of our mastermind students, Camille, set hers up in Texas, and within a week, she's now an official nonprofit corporation. So that's the first step. Well, then how are you going to go out and live that life of abundance and make the impact, right? We do not teach bake sale charities. For 30-some years, I've led very profitable nonprofit corporations. And people say, that's not right. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't make money. Yes, the more money you make, the more you can help. The difference between nonprofits and for-profits, legally, experts, is the way the profits are distributed. In your for-profit, you go to the shareholders, investors. In the nonprofit, you take those profits and you build more programs. You pay your staff full time. You give them health care. You do IRAs. You take care of your team that's out there changing systems. So with that, and then leading it forward, I want to do a shout out, Derek. What we've done now with the real estate, just people are amazed. They're blown away. Donors. It's not that they just hand over property. They can do bargain sales. We can get them cash. They get deductions. Their benefits are phenomenal. And some of them said, oh my gosh, this is more benefits than I were to get if I would sell it outright, right? And so this is a wealth transferring strategy. Derek's gone to New York 2 times now, just recently, with our lead mentor. He's amazing. And both of them, they're together leading the way in talking to the big firms, the big funders, and they're all just blown away. They're all saying, oh my gosh, this will transform. Could be bigger than Uber, Airbnb. Those are the kind of things that cause this momentum where every one of you now can be a part of this. And I'll tell you, another difference with the nonprofit and for-profit, the nonprofit has so many revenue streams. People think, oh, I'll make a lot of money and then I'll do a nonprofit. Or, I'll just kind of give to a nonprofit. Or it's kind of an afterthought. And that's what I'm going to talk to you today about, one of our mentoring students. So with this momentum, with the energy, with the people like Lane that you were talking about, Derek, the fund manager, and people that have showed up in our lives, that we can have headhunters that could have found that credible, that qualified, that purpose-led, that heart-driven, that brilliant, right? So the doors are opening for us so that we can then come and bring you those resources. So Derek did a webinar and we launched it, Real Estate Revenue. And you guys, every one of you need to go watch that. nonprofitwebclass.com/mastermind. And I'll type it in the bar. But the real estate revenue, we did a training on it, and then we launched a mastermind. It's bringing in the top students, bringing in people that are really taking action. And we met in Albuquerque 6 weeks ago. What has happened since then? I've been on the phone with several of them this week. So Derek, I wanted to do a shout out. I see Betty is on with us. Betty is doing an amazing nonprofit. It started in Washington State and be replicated around the country. So we'll be bringing her on. I just got off the phone with Brenda. Brenda's in Illinois. Amazing, Accessible Acres, what she's doing, and the momentum that she's talking to a realtor. She's talking to the Economic Development Agency in Illinois, contacted her. She wrote them a letter. They sent a letter back. You guys, this momentum that we have going on, and I saw where Pete's on with this. And let me tell you, I want to do a shout out for him, Derek, because do you see anyone else on that I'm missing? I don't want to miss anyone. Oh, Marianne. Yay, Marianne from Chicago. Oh my gosh. Marianne's an amazing project, working with folks that are homeless, bringing housing together. And she has people that have been homeless on her board. It's so important that in this movement we're creating. So for this happy hour, be thinking about veterans. If you're going to do a veterans project, you've got veterans on your board. You've got veterans leading the way. Marianne has the people that we're serving. It's not a hand up. It's not a handout. It's not a welfare program. This is about empowering people to take control of their life again and to be part of the solution. So Marianne, you got me talking about that. Skip, it's so great.
Marianne, real quick, Marianne, we're going to connect on Monday as well. Right after this Purpose Friday, I have a call with the group with the Housing Council and Economic Development out of Chicago about some real estate projects and some donated real estate potential. So we'll connect on Monday. We need to talk about that after I have this call. And then, yeah, I saw him too. I want to do a shout out too to Skip Thomas. Skip is with us. I see Skip is an award-winning filmmaker, an incredible person. He came to our event in Albuquerque with our mastermind, and just kind of a nice little teaser announcement. You guys are going to be hearing a lot about this. I just put this together for him and a gentleman named John Mark Huckabee, who is Governor Mike Huckabee's son, on an outline for a pre-launch campaign for a documentary film that we're going to be working with the Power of Purpose, Living Legacy Institute, a nonprofit, and with Skip Thomas's group. So we've been waiting to now that he's on, we got to talk about it now. We're green lit and we're going into pre-launch mode for our campaign to bring this documentary to life with Governor Mike Huckabee, whose daughter also just recently promoted to press secretary for the President of the United States. So pretty amazing stuff. It's really very exciting. And also, and we have a, you know, award-winning actor. Oh yes, Skip just wrote it right there. Skip's a step ahead of me. Awesome. Let's say we actually have many of you know award-winning actor named John Voight, legendary actor who has signed on to narrate the film as well. So we're just incredibly excited about all these projects coming on board right now.
Well, and you guys, Skip, I would know that you show up at happy hour, Purpose Happy Hour. Yeah, Skip, you guys, we were brought together and knew right then we were going to stay connected and do something great together. He's one of the most purpose-led people I've ever had in my life. How amazing it is to be, and for him to come and really document the mastermind. It's much, much different than just being a filmmaker. He's got a gift. He can bring out the emotions. He captures the heart. And so, Skip, the next step, now we've been working together and all of his accolades and doing this documentary, Capital Crisis, really bringing this country back together, the anger, the hurt that's going on, and knowing the journey of Mike Huckabee years ago. And I'll wait till the 10 o'clock news so you can, but as we send out the pre-launch to bring this forward, you guys get involved. This is so critical for the country right now. We're the ones that have to come step in and help pull us together. And you want to hear some exciting things after being with the Purpose Pioneers, trailblazing the pathway to social enterprise. Love it. Love the tagline. Purpose Pioneers at the Mastermind. Now Skip said, why don't I have a nonprofit? So Skip and I are working together, and so we'll be bringing Skip on Purpose Friday to talk about jolting the journey with him and setting up the nonprofit and bringing it forward. So all of you Mastermind, it's so great to have you involved with us and be bringing each one of you on the different weeks. Now I was going to bring Steve on today, and things are happening so fast at his event that Derek will be bringing him on the next week or two. I told him I would just share some of the journey from the last 2 days. And again, every one of you guys, every one of you can be where our Mastermind students are, where Steve is that I'm going to share with. The nonprofit corporation, there's never been a better time. Inc. magazine brought us in to do a training for entrepreneurs on the power of the nonprofit corporation. Remember, it's not just this little bake sale charity. It's not a do-good. This country is rooted in 501c3 nonprofit corporations, hospitals, universities, IKEA, Sesame Street. I mean, it goes on. They're all nonprofit corporations. You guys, the funding that you can bring in to go out and live that purpose, make an impact. So Derek, I just, with Skip on the phone now with you talking about Skip and Mike Huckabee and opening that door with Sarah Huckabee. Skip, we talk about it all the time, but when I sat in the event with Steve and sat there the day of the 88th anniversary and thought about what it was like sitting on the White House lawn. And then 2 years ago for the 25th anniversary, I coordinated for my mentors to do another celebration at the White House. And amazing, all these young kids coming in their electric wheelchairs, the voice synthesizers, and 25 years before that, we couldn't even get onto the curb cut. Look at the impact. Think what we could do. with veterans, with seniors, with our youth that are being lost, with our health care. Look what's going on with health care. So Derek, sitting with Steve and then thinking about what you and Skip are doing and taking this forward, we're going to have access. And believe me, we're going to take that access and we're going to be sitting with groups at the White House with the Secretary of Department of Energy, with the Secretary of the Veterans Administration, with the Secretary of HUD. That's how we, the disability movement, made the changes. We got invited in to go sit around the table and bring our solutions in to the different secretaries. That's how we got Section 8 vouchers, because we wanted to live in the community now. We didn't have to live in nursing homes, institutions, but there's nowhere to live. Met with the Department of Treasury, developed low-income housing tax credits so that it's a win-win for investors, and we bring housing forward that's affordable. We have that opportunity right now with every one of you, with all of our mastermind purpose pioneers, and we're gonna take that opportunity and we're gonna make amazing things happen.
Oh, absolutely. So kind of on that point, let's talk about what's transpired this week. You've been in Denver, amazing things happening. So talk a little bit more about one of our mastermind students, an event they had, and what's transpired this week up there in Denver.
This would be so great for all of you, those of you that are new, going, well, what's this about? Go check out nonprofitwebclass.com. Learn more about the nonprofit, the 6 steps to launch and empower a nonprofit. So this gentleman called us. He looked at it, and then I was speaking at a live event last year, and hundreds of people there, and I was talking about the change we made in long-term care and how that we got 200 people out of nursing homes, and all this gentleman in the audience kept saying, "Amen, bring it on, sister." You don't usually hear that in their fancy dancy high-end event. And afterwards he goes, "We have to work together." Steve is an entrepreneur extraordinaire. He has so many different businesses. He has enterprises and on the for-profit side. And what he does, he trains home health cares how to go out and really help people stay in their home versus going to nursing homes. That's been the disability movement's journey and fight and mission since the day we came together. Give us a choice. Let us live where we want. Let us bring someone in to help us not have to go where people don't like to go. And so here he is doing this on a national level. And that's why he resonated with what I was saying we'd done through the nonprofit. So Steve came in as a mentoring student, and we started going through our step-by-step training. Week 1 set up the nonprofit. So 35 years worth, we have a great system with the step-by-step. And it was kind of an afterthought. He was so busy and going to the Bahamas, and he had a mastermind and this. And as he started working with us, and he got to be the MC for this huge conference of billionaires, and he was a master of ceremonies. And I said, "Steve, now's when you need to go and talk about your nonprofit. You get up there on stage, the cause marketing, aligning them with the cause." And like, So as we went through our steps, developing the marketing, his logo, that program summary. So we'll take you guys step by step. So you set up the entity, we take you through the marketing. So I said, just get up and start talking about it. Steve got up and called me. He called me on his cell phone and said, "Oh my gosh, the interest, people are coming up asking, how can I help?" Real estate, folks that have acquired wealth, that have real estate all over, they don't know that they can help you with their real estate that they never go to anymore, the piece of land that's been sitting there for 20 years. And so I said, let's send out some letters. That was one of our steps on our step-by-step. So from the software Derek developed to reach donors, one click of the button, and you have a letter that has her name on it. So he mailed out a few letters just to get started. He calls me again. He goes, oh my gosh, I got 2 phone calls within 2 days. People going, yeah, I'm really interested. Tell me more about you. The name of their nonprofit is the Institute for Dignity and Grace. When he works around the country with the home health cares that are working with seniors that can't afford private pay, to have a national nonprofit that can have a funding stream that can provide seniors care to stay in their own home. And let me tell you how big that is now to me. And I know so many of you, as we're on this Purpose Friday together, we have parents that are aging. I just 2 weeks ago went through this with my mom. She's going through kidney failure. She's chose not to do dialysis. She's in the hospital. So it's time to call hospice in. Now, mom needs help every day. Just a couple hours, just helping her fix meals, helping her so she can stay home. Well, now that she's on hospice, Medicare, I call, tells me, oh, we don't fund home health care once they're on hospice. But hospice only comes in once a week with the nurse to check her. She's one of the ones that the Institute for Dignity and Grace is all about. We're talking millions of people. Our system is broken. We're institutional biased. Economically, it makes no sense. They put mom in a nursing home at $120,000 a year or whatever it is, and she'd have to get rid of all of her assets, but they won't pay $7,000 a year to have someone come in and help her. So the Institute with Dignity and Grace, one of their programs is advocacy. And as Steve has embraced and understands, and with us mentoring the power of the nonprofit corporation, he is by far the most, what should I say about Steve? He is an entrepreneur extraordinaire on steroids. I mean, he's out there. You see him on Facebook 5 times a day. He's amazing. Love him. And now that he's seen the power of the nonprofit, Derek, he had a boot camp. Hundreds of home healthcare owners from around the country were there. A gentleman stood up and said, I was just at the National Home Healthcare Conference. They didn't have near the people that you do. And Steve stood up first thing in the morning and talked about the Institute in front of hundreds of people. And he talked about leading a movement, it being the national organization. All these home health cares can join and be the voice to take us to DC, to change policy in Medicare. That's our tax dollars. That's a broken system economically. With him leading the way, when he sat there and shared that on his whiteboard, it used to be the Institute, maybe it didn't even quite make it to the whiteboard or a little box somewhere. And now the Institute is the biggest umbrella over all the enterprises. Derek, it was so amazing. Now, let me share this part with you. You'll love this part, you guys. This makes happy hour really fun, because then we said, okay, we're launching it. And people were coming up left and right and say, what do you need? What do you need? And we talked about the real estate. Steve already sees where that's going to be the main thing. And a gentleman came up and said he would donate $5,000 to $10,000 to get it going. And as a real estate investor, managing fund, he's going to come in to oversee the charitable giving of real estate division. And then we did a breakfast with Steve to talk about the Institute, to talk about how folks can get involved. And we had 10 spots at $100 donation, to give them. 20 people signed up, so we had to expand the breakfast. There would have been more, but we had to cut it off. There's another couple thousand. Here's how us mentoring you guys. Now listen, the cause marketing, working as for-profit with this nonprofit. You don't have to do or one or the other. That's where we come in with expertise. We've done it for 30 some years. Steve's for-profit, they put a book together called Why We Care. Amazing book, hardback, beautiful. All the proceeds go to his nonprofit. So again, he's aligning a cause, and he said, okay, we said, okay, you guys donate $25 to the nonprofit, the Institute, and we'll send you an autographed copy. I bet there were hundreds of books that people have put their credit cards out for him. So again, this week, going down that road of the diversified funding, bringing in funding from donations, bringing in funding from cause marketing, bringing in funding from real estate, and having the resources to go sit at the table at the White House with the Secretary of Health and Human Services and talk about changing, redirecting funding and changing our long-term care system. So Derek, it was just, I got so emotional when I got up there when Steve talked about he's like was a preacher before, and he's on stage and so passionate, so from the heart, and he's like, we're going to keep our seniors out of nursing homes. We're going to give them the life they deserve. And I sat there and thought, somebody else is now with us, what we've been fighting for 30 years. The whole industry is with this. So can you imagine the change that the Institute is going to make? That mindset switch. Steve went from the little nonprofit over here to now it's the biggest part of his whole business, the Institute, and talking about setting up certifications on all the trainings he's doing. It's all going to come through the Institute. So you guys, never ever has there been a better time for the nonprofit. And Derek he never gives himself accolades or, you guys, last year, Derek took the charitable giving of real estate, took the software that reaches donors now in a big way, and did 20-some million last year for nonprofits, 20-some million, to the point to where we have groups now. I can't say we, Derek, Elaine, and his group. They're meeting, groups are buying from New York City that want to be a part of funding the fund because they see how big this is.
It's amazing. That couples on to with the meeting you just had in Denver with a gentleman who's, as I mentioned before at the onset, formerly in the very high up in the banking world, in the financial world, in the real estate world, and being able to work back and forth with multi-billion-dollar capital investment firms who see our model, who see how they can invest into it, how they can deploy capital to take this to the next level. Because ultimately that's our mission, is not just on the fact of helping raise funds for nonprofits creatively utilizing real estate equities, but more so really just fundamentally change how nonprofits raise money, how housing can be utilized to make a difference in communities. We have communities out there across the country now where we're literally providing more units than there are homeless veterans or people in need of affordable housing, just through a few creative strategies utilizing donation to real estate. And that was just a small little piece in the grand scheme of things, what we're doing. But this is what's going to take us, yes, to, like we talked about, what you might picture as like an Uber or something of that magnitude, right? For all things real estate donation is what we're going to be powering at that level. And to really get out in a big way, you talk about connecting at the state level, at the federal level, connecting in very high circles of the real estate industry, the financial world, business world, the philanthropy world, bringing them all together and realizing that real estate is that financial vehicle that can bring it all together. Whether it be from a donor, right, from a wealth management strategy and being philanthropic, also helping them in some capacity with real estate they might no longer want. And also the nonprofits themselves who are constantly in a fundraising mindset, right, or are also looking for this type of asset, which might be real estate, to deliver programs and services. And also with on the in front with buyers and realtors and real estate professionals, they get great deals. They renovate properties, which revitalize communities. It brings a lot of business to realtors and title agents and closing attorneys, you name it. So it's just a win-win-win all around. And we've been working on this for so long, and then to be here at this level in the press of it, it's just pretty remarkable. And it's amazing to be on with you to share these updates because of where we're going and on how the nonprofits that we work with, how they literally go from startup to multi-million-dollar nonprofits with the real estate assets they're holding, the programs they're delivering in a very short time by just embracing this strategy. It's no different when we talk about if you're a nonprofit and you're accepting a donation, maybe not something as savvy as like even stock, but like vehicles, right? Or in-kind donations of office equipment, whatever it is. It's no different. It's just real estate. We're just a little more creative with it, a little more knowledge and expertise that we apply, some structure. And it's really now becoming the flagship what we think of real estate for really transforming, not just with the power purpose and our nonprofits, but ultimately how we raise money in this country and how we deliver impact the biggest way. It really all starts with not just that huge chunk of wealth, right? Nearly half of our wealth in this country, capital wealth, is in real estate equities. But more so when it really boils down to, I had a great meeting with somebody who's coming into the fund about this yesterday, who wants to do the same thing for seniors, about how seniors are in such dire need for affordable housing. And a lot of them are on fixed incomes. And every need that we face on that personal level, right, when you put a face to it with people, it really comes down to a clean, safe, affordable place to live, right? When you got that foundation, that's when we can really make a difference and people can elevate themselves, right? This is what this strategy offers. This is what this program offers to those numbers. They don't have to raise a lot of money now to try and go and buy a piece of property, maybe pay a lot of money for it right now, right? Or raise money creatively, right, without using real estate. Now they can do both. We can have the real estate donated and keep that cash on hand, or they can convert the real estate into cash and then fund their programs and services. So that's really just the power behind this. And what's so exciting is to see everybody from different walks of life, different professions, the people that are gravitating forward. The meeting that we've had with the gentleman in Denver we spoke about, who's coming in, people from our newly appointed fund manager, the capital investment firm, people from the capital world and the real estate world, everybody that's coming together that sees both the opportunity and the impact it can make at the same time. There's very few words that can describe it right now on the people that are coming into our lives and with our students to make this possible.
And Derek, I see Christy and Kinshaw with us also, part of our Purpose Pioneers. And Christy, I'll give you a little bit of a warning. We had a conference call with Ed this morning and the fund team. We are going to be bringing you and Ed on too. Christy's got some amazing things going up in California. I won't steal the thunder, Christy, with your nonprofit. And then Ken's in our backyard. So all the folks I'm talking about, you're going to meet them on Purpose Friday. You're going to meet them at happy hour soon.
Yeah, Purpose Happy Hour. That's right. Now we get to talk about the fun stuff. We have our mastermind students. We're going to be getting our interview series. We're doing a lot of updates and really relaunching this in a big way. We've been introducing members of our team, which we'll continue to do periodically. But now the fun stuff's really going to begin because we're going to start bringing on our mastermind students and really brag about them, show the amazing things that they're doing, and and have some fun stuff too. Like we said, we're pretty high driven, professionals what we do, but we also like to have a lot of fun and goof around at the same time too, because that's kind of our unofficial company slogan, really. Is as Mom said earlier, it's if it ain't fun, it ain't worth doing, right?
Yeah, man, it's going so it's moving so fast, you guys. So I'm putting some things in the chat because so many of you are new. To start out, go to nonprofitwebclass.com and just kind of, we did a free training, kind of taking you through the 6 steps. A lot of great education. So go there and see about the power of the nonprofit. And then as we talked about the mastermind, you guys, it's growing, the momentum's growing, and we're growing resources. So I'm also going to put one down. Go check out nonprofitwebclass.com/mastermind. That'll be a really good training for you also. Brenda and I were talking about it a while ago. It's a training to really start understanding how real estate can come in on the revenue side, how people can donate real estate, and how it benefits everyone. Like Derek said, it's a win-win-win for the realtor, for the donor, for the nonprofit, the people you serve. So I want you to go to that and just be sure you have a cup of coffee or whatever, and enjoy. It's like an hour. It's almost 2 hours, Derek, when we were looking at it. So go and check that out, because from the mastermind, you guys, one of the things. Oh, great, David! Thank you. He's a part of it already, David. Woo! One of the things, you guys, from the mastermind, and I think on a Purpose Friday a long time ago, we'll bring it back. Tim was on, and Tim is serving veterans. He has a nonprofit in Iowa. Somebody saw from LA, and they watched a Facebook Live. Derek probably wasn't, me and you and Tim did. They looked us up, and they looked Tim up, and they sent an email. We're meeting with them Monday, and they want to set up a satellite in LA for Americans for Independent Living. So his reach is already growing. He has like $2-3 million worth of real estate. He just sent out another letter campaign from the software Derek has, and he received 28 responses so far, 15 or so under contract. He sent 40, Derek, I know, to go ahead and get them going right now. And as a result of this mastermind, the power of the mastermind, it's like a think tank in my days in DC. The brain trust coming together, all of us helping each other, everyone sitting in the same room and just scheming and dreaming. And one of the gentlemen, Mike, who Derek's talked about, he has a friend who has a telemedicine business and bringing health and wellness to transitional living centers, behavioral health, those kind of things through telemedicine. How cool is that? That the minute Tim opens his doors for his transitional living and 50 veterans come in, then what, right? Tim's contractor, he understands real estate. He's known how to get it. He just got a $1.5 million nursing home donated. That's going to be the transitional living center. So he's got that part down. He's going in and rehabbing it. And then what? Here shows up Mike at the mastermind that his friend has a company. John McCain's on the board. I mean, it's the real deal. And they're going to be able to go in, contract with the local physician's assistant that the day a veteran comes in, goes and meets with them. Let's meet them where they are. And then to be able to get on the computer and start, you need someone to be there with you at midnight at night. You've got the access to the telemedicine to do full-blown support services. What a relief to Tim. But it's bigger than that. It's also creating a revenue stream. When I talked before to some of you that have been with us, I talk about the fee for service. That's what made my last nonprofit healthy. and we set up an investment portfolio, and we were making 40 or 50,000 a month residual income. Now through this telemedicine, through this program to really help veterans come back with their wealth, with their health, with their, we'll be able to develop a revenue stream for the nonprofit. So I'm telling you, the mastermind coming together, all of us being there, what Christy and Ken and Marianne and Brenda, all of them are doing, they're going to be all connected with each other. So Marianne's working with her nonprofit in Chicago, and in Albuquerque, we're going to be doing that through Living Legacy Institute, bringing Marianne in and her nonprofit to work with us. I mean, it's amazing what we're going to be able to do with our nonprofits all collaborating. And that's the beauty of the nonprofit world. In the for-profit, it's competition. You want to keep them away. In the nonprofit, it's collaboration. How do we all come together and make the impact?
Absolutely. That's what we talk about. We're one big, long extended family. We're a movement, we're a collaborative, and we are all connected to make a difference. So really, really, it's just a testament to them once again. That's everyone that's on. If you see how many of our mastermind students continually join us on our web meetups like this, it's pretty remarkable that they still follow along after all this front. So it's really great to see all of you on. Okay. So now we're talking about moving forward, right, Mom? We want to talk about what's to come. So we want to talk about, again, with where the power of purpose is going. Again, just as a sneak preview with our projects we talk about real estate, we talk about our fund, we talk about all of our projects, housing projects, we talk about youth projects, we talk about, you name it. We also talk about a brand new announced film project, documentary film project. In addition to that, we have some events coming up that we're going to be announcing very soon. So we should be sure to stay tuned with us, especially on the email. If you get our emails, which I hope you all do, go to nonprofitwebclass.com, get a great web class to learn more about the basics of nonprofit creation and also funding. But that's a good way to follow us on email. Is by there. We're going to start doing some really big announcements coming very soon regarding both our projects, some events coming up, some things with our real estate programs, you name it. So we want you guys to follow us there. In addition to that, yeah, go to nonprofitwebclass.com, right? For that, if you just throw in /mastermind, yeah, then you can learn more about our mastermind, what our mastermind students are doing, what they're involved with. We have, as we mentioned earlier, we have 4 hours of content about the real estate program that we have for you guys to learn about. So go there and check that out as well. And follow us on social media. If you're on with our Facebook, go to our like page, follow us there. We broadcast these live on Facebook. I know all of us can't always be in a position where we're on our laptop, right in front of us to see us, but we have this stream with Facebook. So guess what? You can sit there on a mobile device or an iPad, even if you're in the car or traveling or wherever, and you can watch us live from there. Same thing for YouTube. Go to YouTube, follow us there too. So just stay in touch with us, see what we're doing, and learn more about us, and just come be a part of what we're doing. Join our movement.
Oh man, I got to talk about the Q&A. Deborah asked us if financing available for tiny homes for veterans. Deborah, that's exactly what we do, is walking you through the nonprofit. Brenda and I just had the conversation about bringing in sponsors, getting them to partner with you in your nonprofit. They get all kinds of tax deductions. The cause marketing, corporate America has taken cause marketing to another level because they understand the bottom line increase that happens, okay? So go into this tiny home producer and saying, look, my nonprofit, we'll take this out, we'll promote you. They're going to get free marketing. They're aligned with the cause. So come and join us, Deborah. What I wanted to share, I got another comment here, Derek. We always talk about our mentoring and our mastermind students. I've spent 35 years we've spent 10 years co-founding, building the resources. So we have nonprofit university, we have the Power Purpose Campus, we do mastermind webinars every week. They connect and they talk about what's working, how to perfect this, what can do. Deborah, just like the question you have, Tim, when I was talking to him yesterday, Tim's even getting appraisals donated. I mean, like big time, like for commercial buildings, because the for-profit company, they're getting a tax deduction. They're making a difference for veterans. So definitely, Deborah. And that's what we do during our live Q&A on the Power Purpose Campus. We spend time with you. So probably the best thing, go to info@thepowerpurpose.com and just ask for a purpose consultant to call you and go over things and see where you can come in and see how you can join the movement and see how you can be a part of all of us growing this together. And then, Bill, I got to do a shout out to you because you said you love the purple logo color. Well, if you guys have known me at all, that's my trademark. You know how Donald Trump has the hair, they all have the trademarks. Mine's always been purple. And the minute I saw Derek today on the webinar, I'm like, oh, I want that backdrop. So yeah, awesome. That's part of Purpose Friday. Have fun.
She'll have it. She'll have that and a whole closet full of purple ties. You bet. Absolutely.
So you guys come and join us. Go to info@thepowerpurpose.com. Shoot them an email. Tell them that you want to learn more. How do you get involved? You want to be part of this. You want to be part of this movement that's bringing the transformation to this country. It's not going to happen in D.C. You saw what happened with the healthcare bill last night. They're so far divided on the aisles. We, the people, we're the ones that are coming forward and bringing solutions. So join us.
Absolutely. So going forward, you guys, Purpose Happy Hour. I'm so glad to have you guys on, as always. One more thing, too, on our like page. Yes, these are streamed live, but these are also archived on our Facebook Live page. So go there and check out the archives. They're right there for you. You can access them anytime you'd like. Same thing on YouTube. Okay. And join us these coming Fridays. Be a part of this. Join us for a happy hour, a little Purpose Happy Hour, right? We'll have a little fun. We're going to bring on some special guests. You're going to hear from our top mastermind students around the country. You're going to hear from members of our team. You're going to have special guests involved with our fund or involved in the nonprofit world. So just keep joining us on Fridays, and our special guests, especially, we're going to be so proud to showcase our mastermind students, let them talk. Many of them are probably sitting right where you guys were, right? Maybe watching us even a couple of years ago, brand new, now doing amazing things, and you guys can do the same. But join us on Fridays, learn from them, see what they're doing, see how purpose-driven and passionate they are, purpose-led, right? So join us on Fridays, same time as always, right? We go 3 Eastern, noon Pacific every Friday. And it's kind of it's a little road show now, you guys. We were broadcasting from South Florida briefly, real quick, while we were crazy on the road, right? Now from Denver, Colorado, most likely Phoenix next week, and so on beyond that. And so we'll be on the road, have a lot of fun, and our special guests get a lot of great resources, content, show you what's working out in the nonprofit world and how we all can stay interconnected. So thank you all again for joining us. Mom, especially, thank you. Incredible week in Denver.
Oh, man.
So
and Angela is asking about the website information, Derek. For all of you guys, I put it on the chat. So we've got Nonprofit Web Class. You've got nonprofitwebclass.com/mastermind. And then to find out how you join the movement, how you get more involved, how you can really have that education to take you forward, go to info@thepowerpurpose.com, send them an email, and the purpose consultant will be getting with you.
Oh, awesome. And before we go, this is what it's all about. We have Peter in Texas who filed his incorporation papers for Deep Philanthropy, Inc., and just received that back yesterday and
Yay.
going on to IAN. So we have another incorporated nonprofit in Texas. Congratulations, Peter. And this is what it's all about. So it's incredible. Thank you for coming on Friday and sharing that with us as well. We love hearing that. So amazing stuff. All right, everyone. Thank you once again for our Purpose Happy Hour. We're now going to have Mom here really now transition her second job, which is Mima. She's got the grand boys this Friday and this weekend. So we're going to turn her back to that. And we'll see you guys next time on Purpose Fridays with family and friends. Our mastermind students are coming up, you guys. Can't wait to introduce you to them. So stay and join us every Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
And you talked about Mima. Woo! You guys have fun this weekend.
Enjoy. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.